blood pressure, and you can eat all the salt you want. No more hypertension for you or your family ever again. It's out of your family. It will cure your hypertension if you just read a religious text.
Hey family and friends. Thanks for coming back. So, why are you not growing? Let's have a talk. Friend, I don't like to see you stagnant. I don't like to see you in the same place, but you're not growing. You are not getting the sunlight and the care that you need. And you're not growing because you don't read. Pick up a book. So we're going to talk about how books can help you grow. And I know y'all do not read. The average American only reads one book, if recreationally, per year. I hope y'all are above average. At least give me two. At least give me 2 books or I'm calling the police. So I'm going to talk about why you should read, how it can help you grow. And what I mean by grow, not just as a person professionally, but health-wise, just overall, just help you grow to be a better and more healthier person. As well as if you're having trouble reading, let mama show you her ways, young Padawan. Come to Sensei. Come to the Jedi Master. Because your girl be reading like 100 books a year. That is no exaggeration. I read. You don't have to read 100 books a year like me, but if you could get at least 5 in, I will be happy. I will cash app you 25 cents. In a kind bar, because I know you're hungry for knowledge. Hungry for knowledge. So why do we need to read? There are a few reasons why. And the first thing that we're going to do is, do you know that reading helps decrease your chances of getting dementia? Do you want to know who you are, what you are, where you are for all eternity?
Don't you love waking up in the morning not knowing where you are, who you are, why you are?
Then pick up a book, because it'll help your brain read. It'll help your brain. It'll help your brain. I said help your brain read. It'll help your brain. So not only does it help you help decrease your chances of getting dementia, if you already suffer from dementia, reading at least 15 minutes a day can slow down that process. Not saying that you won't continue to have it, but it can slow down that process for you by reading. So another thing that it does is it helps reduce stress and it helps you relax. Steph, how can reading a book help me relax? How can reading a book help me de-stress? Well, science has proven that when we are distracted from our day-to-day lives, we tend to relax and we tend to de-stress. That's why when people go to bars and have a drink, or if they just go and listen to music and not really do anything or watch TV, you have something, or a movie, you have something that is distracting your mind from your current reality, and it is helping you de-stress. Some people do other things to help them de-stress as well, and that's okay. But these are all things that take your mind off of your current reality. None of these things are as effective as de-stressing and relaxing your mind as reading is, though. And how is that even possible? When you're reading a book, the author is painting and forming words and scenes, forming sentences and scenes for you that are very descriptive and very imaginative. You reading requires your brain to use up a lot of its energy and function to not just be able to process the words on the paper, but for you to be able to mentally see what you're reading, visualize what you're reading. And that actually takes up a lot of time, and it actually takes your mind away from a lot of things. Therefore, it is not only helping you escape into another world, but in that process, it is taking your mind off of its current world and into another one where a vampire has just eaten somebody in a haunted house that you knew they shouldn't have gone in. See, it captivated you, and that was just a little tidbit, and I made that up, but it made you want to know more. So that is how it will relax you. It takes your mind off of your current day-to-day reality and just de-stresses you. It just de-stresses you. It helps with your focus and concentration. Studies show that reading books and absorbing what you're reading requires for your brain to use its entire focus. As I said earlier, your brain has to process the words, it has to internalize, and then it has to create images for you to visualize exactly what you're reading. And it uses that entire focus, and it stops you from multitasking or getting distracted, because your brain is so focused on the task at hand that it really doesn't have the capacity to do anything else. Those same studies show that reading in the morning for 15 to 30 minutes every morning, before you get to work, you can do it on your commute, just as long as you get 15 to 30 minutes in, it actually does improve your focus and productivity for the rest of the day. So you could have had that raise had you read for 30 minutes before you got to work. Now look at you, no raise, illiterate. I'm just kidding, you're not illiterate. But reading those 15 to 20 minutes a day do help increase your focus and productivity, which is why it is so very important. For me personally, every morning before I get ready, I go sit on my balcony, I read a book, and I drink a cup of coffee. And to me, that is just the perfect time to de-stress, and it kind of gets my brain slowly activated so that for the rest of the day, I can focus intensely on my tasks at hand. And that's just me personally, and you can do it too. And you can do it in your bed, you can do it on your commute, you can do it while you're eating your breakfast, drinking your coffee. Just get 15 to 30 minutes of reading in the morning, and it will change your life, and you'll get a raise, and you'll become the CEO of the company that you work for. You could tell them I said it. Put me as a reference on your resume. It reduces depressive thoughts. There has been research that shows that people who read spiritual texts, including the Bible, including the Quran, including any biblical text, people who read the biblical text have demonstrated lower blood pressure than those who don't. So get the word in, whatever your word is, spiritual words of affirmations. It doesn't have to be like a religious text. It can be, anything that whatever your spiritual belief system is, just do a little bit of reading on it, even if it's just reading for more knowledge to understand it. Just get that in and get that positive energy. It'll lower your blood pressure, and you can eat all the salt you want. No more hypertension for you or your family ever again. It's out of your family. It will cure your hypertension if you just read a religious text. It improves your overall knowledge. So we all know, we have like this association in society that people who read are generally smarter. And we are smarter. We are smarter than you. Yes, we are, because we read. We're smarter than you. But it's not really that we're smarter. It's just that because we read and we have a diverse selection of books that we pull from, when we are having a conversation with people or are in conversation with a group of people, we are able to refer back and pull knowledge from multiple different books and texts. That does not make us an expert in anything. That just makes us knowledgeable in an array of subjects so that we don't look like idiots when we're sitting there talking, and we don't sit there like a thumb. So don't be that person at the party or at the networking event while everybody is talking socioeconomics and all of your answers are very surface level and not meaningful. You will stick out like a sore thumb, and it will show everybody that you just have no clue what you're talking about, and you're just saying things to input your word. It's good to say nothing if you don't know, and I think that's also a sign of a very smart person. If you have nothing to contribute to the conversation because you simply do not know, you can literally just say you do not know and listen to the conversation and use that as a way for you to learn more. But as it relates to books, because if you constantly reading and not just reading the same type of stuff, diversify your reading portfolio. Just like you want to diversify your stocks and your investment, diversify the investment that you have into yourself and into your growth by reading a multitude of books, even by people and figures who you don't necessarily agree with, because you get a better understanding of worldviews. You'll be in a better position to debate topics, whether they are political, whether they are socioeconomic, whether they are just really stupid and about evolution or, Marvel's cinematic universe. You can at least have something to reference and pull knowledge from these multiple different texts to supplement in a conversation. And it just makes you sound really smart, because honestly, I feel like that's why most of us readers like to read. We want to be the ones that are looked at, that are like, oh, she must know what she's talking about. I have no clue. I'm just pulling a quote out of my behind that I read from a book like 5 years ago. So it's just a great way for you to diversify and be able to talk about an array of topics and current and post events. Lastly, it improves your sleep quality. Just like how I said earlier, that reading for 15 to 30 minutes in the morning helps make you be more productive and helps improve and fine-tune your focus. The same general thing applies for at night. If you read 15 to 30 minutes at night before bed, you actually get a better night's sleep. And why is that? I'm going to refer back to when we talked about reading helping you de-stress and relax. Your brain works extremely hard to process information and to paint these pictures for you to be engaged in the text. So when you're reading at night for 15 or 30 minutes, think of it like a mental gymnastics or like a mental workout for your brain. By the time you're done reading and trying to comprehend, your brain is tired. Have you ever been studying and then like you're reading a paragraph over and over and over again, and then you get tired? You just get tired of looking at it. You get sleepy. Your brain is taking a lot of its capacity to process this information, and it makes you tired. And therefore, that way of making you tired, it slows down its function, and then it makes it better for you to get a great night's sleep. So read 15 to 30 minutes in the morning, read 15 to 30 minutes a day. You could be averaging an hour or 30 minutes of reading every day. And that actually adds up, and you can get through a lot of books just by doing that. And it doesn't take any time, really. We all have 30 minutes to spare in the morning or in the evening, or 15 minutes in the morning or evening. It's not that hard. So how can you read more? I just have some very basic tips. Schedule your reading like you would schedule anything else. Scheduling an event, whether it's reading or anything else, can increase its success rate from 34% to 91%. So you want to do that. Make it a part of your morning and night routine. We detailed that. And make it about 15 to 30 minutes a session. Listen to audiobooks. We have more access to literature than we've ever had, and you are not required to sit down and read a book. Some activities you won't be able to read, like driving in a car, riding a bike, maybe even just working while you're at work if you don't have to answer calls and stuff like that. Pop those in while you're just doing your mundane tasks, cleaning up. This is where you can get a lot of reading in a very short amount of time. Don't be afraid to spot read and skip. Don't feel obligated to read a book from cover to cover. If you picked up a self-help book and one chapter really resonates with you, just read that chapter and then get back to the rest of it when you want to get back to it. Don't feel obligated to sit and read a book from front to back, because sometimes you just don't want to do that. Read the stuff you want to read, omit the stuff you want to omit, unless it's like a fiction book and you probably would want to read the whole thing. But if it's just something where you can kind of pick out bits and pieces, do that. As long as you're reading, as long as you're getting that time and that cognitive functioning in, you're doing great, sweetie. You're doing great. And lastly, carry a book with you everywhere. I carry one book with me everywhere I go. I always grab a book that it's like a filler book. I carry it because I could be doing something like on a train, in a doctor's office, waiting on a friend, if I get dinner by myself, or if I, go get drinks at a bar after work or after a meeting, I have something to read. And pro tip, ladies and gentlemen, I get so much play at the bar from reading. Dudes come up to me all the time asking me, starting a conversation based off of the books I read. And ladies and gentlemen, that is a good way to filter out the caliber of person coming up to you because if they're coming up to you and they're leading with like the book talk, not all the time, but you know, they probably up on a mental level that's actually good. So that's a good way to sift out the dusties. Don't let the dusties come in, dusty men or dusty women. So, friend, you are now going to grow, because you know why? You're going to read now. I told you why it's going to help you grow, and you're going to pick up a book right now. I got you one. Here, this is for you. Take it. Okay. I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you later. Okay? All right, friends. So thank you for coming back, and I will see you next video. Bye. Okay, now take this book, for real. I'm tired of holding it for you. Take it.